So guys, the title of the stream is reverse thinking trading, and how to catch the moves before the crowd. But what I wanted to look at first was, of course, the price of Bitcoin, because everything starts with Bitcoin. And I drew this chart a couple days ago, and so far it's been respecting. The price action has been respecting my chart. I drew this trend line, a few days ago, and what we're seeing now, or what I think we'll see, is this kind of like consolidation pattern within this pennant or triangular structure, if you will. So, if you look at the top here, we have this descending trend line, and we also have, I drew out a horizontal line here. We have 112K all-time high, then we have 111K lower high from June 25th. So this is like a lower high compared to the high of 112K on May 22nd. And then what we got is, so we did have a pretty significant drop. So let me put this on the daily. There we go. So we had a pretty significant drop down to the 55 exponential moving average on the 5th of June. And after that, we did have a nice bounce from that, like a very nice bounce, from all the way from like pretty much 100,000 all the way to 111,000. So about a 10% move, which is not bad in Bitcoin land. And right now you can see that so far we are respecting this this trend line. Like we did wake off it just today, and so far we are bouncing from that line. So and I did say that this area is going to be a pretty important pivot zone, right between 107,000 to 106,000. Yeah, so 107, 106 area, very important pivot zone for Bitcoin. Now, what I want to do as well is talk about why did we have this like depreciation in price in Bitcoin and other alts over the past day. And this is important because people always say it's only technical matters that in crypto, fundamentals don't matter. But I disagree. I think fundamental big geopolitical events do matter. So what did happen is, of course, we had an attack in the Middle East against I think the country was Iran, and it was attacked, and this brought a lot of geopolitical shock to the markets. And Donald Trump said months ago, I gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to make a deal. They should have done it, and today is day 61. I told them what to do, but they just couldn't get there. Now they have perhaps a second chance. So it seems to me, I know it's going to be very controversial, but Trump, when he was in office from 2016 to 2020, like the tweets that he made about the markets did influence the price action and the markets in turn, especially the equity markets. And now that since crypto is kind of another subject, but crypto didn't really have a correlation with equity markets back in the day, but now it does because of all the institutional money that has come into the ETFs via the Bitcoin ETFs, via the Ethereum ETF, probably via the Solana ETF. I shouldn't have said that. Maybe it's not going to be a Solana ETF, of course not. But this, what Trump is the leader. I think he's the leader of the world, and what he says here, this just seems like very ominous to me. Like I told them what to do, but they're just gonna get there now. They have perhaps a second chance. So it does seem like we're escalating quickly to World War III, um, and yeah, I really don't know how this will impact the markets. I think it's best to just pay attention to the technicals. But anyway, I think this is getting away from my point. Let's get back to the charts. Let's get back to the topic at hand, which is counter trend or reverse thinking trading. So it's an interesting topic. Like, how do you think in reverse? So it's very simple. So you probably wake up and you hear all these headlines like, "Oh, there's this big thing happening, big geopolitical event in the Middle East." Now I can't talk about it because there's laws where I am currently, and we just can't talk about these kind of things. But I think you all know what I'm talking about. But we cannot say these things when there's times of war. But there was an event that happened in the Middle East, and this did impact the market. So I think that's the most I can say. But when these events happen, uh, it's counter trade or reverse think, or I like to call it counter trend trading, counter trading. Um, so basically, yeah, you wake up, you hear there's this, apocalyptic news, and you think, oh my God, I sell everything, market's going to go down. But what you do instead is buy. You want to buy. You want to buy the dip, not financial advice. Especially when you see this kind of like panicky price action, buy the dip, and then if you paid attention to the trend line that I drew here, this would have been like a perfect entry, and you would have made probably hundreds upon thousands of dollars just from listening to my analysis and looking at my charts here. So, so this is what I mean. It's like don't go with the crowd. Like think for yourself is what I'm trying to say. When the market panics, that's when it's time to buy. When the market is euphoric, that's when it's time to start selling. Now, I want to pivot to a trade that I recently executed on Aave, which is a reverse thinking or counter trend trade. And so what happened here? Um, this was on the 8-hour time frame. But essentially, I'm going against the trend here. So Aave is having a big pullback, and from looking at the chart, I decided, wow, there's a lot of like price action transacted here, a lot of buyers and sellers, and this is probably an area to start buying because this is like an area where people accumulated Aave from like let's say 250 of the average price to about $280 or 275. So when you see this kind of thing where it's like we break above resistance at 280, then Aave goes all the way to 325, then it goes back down to this. This is the VRVP tool, and I'll explain this in the video. But this is an area where the most price action has been transacted over a period of time. This is the area to start buying, really. This is what I mean by counter trend trading. What I mean by reverse thinking. So I hope that does make sense. And now what I want to do is actually go over some daily charts and see if we have any counter trend plays on the table here. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. So let's start with Yeah, I was like to sort by smallest to largest. Or actually, like the biggest losers to the largest gainers. So I'm trying to say here. So we got our first coin here, Brett. Here I don't really see anything like counter reversal. No reverse thinking here. No reverse thinking here either. I think if anything, this is like it's probably a time to short here on this anime thing. No reverse thinking here for me. This could be a possible reversal because we are nearing the bottoms here on Pi Network. So we did have like a nice buyback from this afternoon's lows. Well, not afternoons, but from 0.4, 0.5. Okay, we are having quite a nice buyback right now. Well, let's keep going though. With hat is breaking below the 55 EMA here. So this is not a counter trade setup. This is more of a swing trading setup down to the downside, right? Right now, what I want to do is I just want to like go through the list of future pairs and see what is really happening. Well, let's keep going here and see what we got. Now what we got here, Pepe could be like a good consideration for a counter reverse thinking because we are thinking that we did have this massive dump over the past few days of over 7% on Thursday, 7% on Friday. So maybe now we're gonna go to the more down, but maybe actually it's gonna be like a good reversal point because this is tagging the low from Thursday, right? Last Thursday actually. So this could actually start going to the upside. And then let's keep going here and see what else we've got. This is an example where actually counter trend thinking would not apply for me because we are like breaking below all these lows. So if anything, I think this is going to be a continued move. Really. Let's keep going here and see what else we got. Right now, I'm trying to find good examples of what is counter or like reverse thinking, right? I think we had some good examples before, but let's